Hey everybody, it's the Cannon Cruisers. I'm JD.
And I'm Randy.
And today we're here to talk to you about a film from 1985 called Hot Chili. It's very different from Hot Resort, and we're going to tell you that right up front.
Hot Chili, a.k.a. Hot Summer.
Hot Summer.
Ooh. Film directed by William Sachs and written by Sachs and Menahem Golan.
Okay.
I just had to say that. So tell me if you've heard this one before.
Why don't you tell me, Randy? What is this movie about?
4 adolescent boys.
Okay, I'm with you so far.
The nerd.
Okay.
The fat guy.
Okay, you're starting to lose me, but I'm getting there.
The charming one. And the one looking for true love.
I think I get it.
All go work at a exotic resort. And sexy zaniness ensues.
Are you sure? Is that the movie we just watched?
Yes, it is, but that was also The Last American Virgin and Hot Resorts and any number of 80s booby comedies that came out.
It even has a similar title to Hot Resort, which came out in the same year. Only this one doesn't star Bronson Pinchot.
Though I'm just going to go on a quick aside there. There's multiple movies in the 80s that have this exact same plot with the word resort in it.
Of course. That and the community center were two very big
But that
tropes.
is the plot of the film.
Yes.
Wackiness ensues, sexy times ensue. There's not much actual plot.
So let's play a clip from the trailer to really show them what it's about.
Oh boy, is it ever. I don't know what that even meant, but okay.
You and me are going to have some real fun.
Why would 4 teenage boys
think of it as a great adventure?
spend their summer working at a sleepy Mexico resort?
I know about these places, you guys. Welcome to paradise. Are you married, ma'am?
Just shut up.
Is it for love?
I'm in love.
For beauty? For stimulation of the mind? Or is it for stimulation?
This place is full of crazy women.
And that was our very special trailer.
So just to give you a little bit of a further taste, these wacky boys wind up with a bunch of wacky, sexy women, like the Texas Swingers, the dominatrix from Germany, and her husband, Herr Fritz, who's been chasing after Salami Boy the entire movie.
With a Mauser.
A Mouser, a sexy music instructor, and a large-breasted chef?
Who was killed with a hammer, I think, at one point, because I don't think she showed up again.
No, she did. And also, for lack of a better description for her, a tsundere. That's why it's like really, this movie is just kind of...
This movie is bonkers.
I wouldn't go that far, but... So, there's not really much to say about the cast. It's a series of unknowns, more or less. Or at least unknown to me.
No Bronson Pinchot to really stick out for you, except for our good old pal Joe Rubbo.
Yep.
He's back.
Joe Rubbo is back, and not in Pog form. He's just back to being playing a guy named Arnie, as they like to remind us. And you made me write in Joe Rubbo when I was trying to bring up the IMDb page.
We're very professional, folks.
Sorry, I had the cast listing for once. They actually have the cast listing separated out on multiple pages. This is how known this movie is. Anyways, just to give you the background. So it's Joe Rubbo's playing Arnie as the fat man who sleeps with a lot of women. You have Alan Kaser playing Jason, who is the charming of the teenager. You have Charles Chiali, who played Ricky, who's the one looking for true love. And you had Chuck Hemingway playing the nerd.
Chuck.
And other than that, it's like there's no names in this movie that will stand out to you. Like,
you probably
literally, you'll recognize nobody except for Joe Rubbo, because it's appeared in previous Golan and Globus productions, such as Last American Virgin.
There's a moment very similar to a scene in that movie.
We'll get to that in a moment. But he's appeared in Last American Virgin. Yeah, just the Last American Virgin.
Yeah, that's what he said.
That's where we're up to on that one.
All right, so Randy, what about your general impressions? What did you think about Hot Chili?
Not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
I was almost at Hot Resort.
But, yeah, impression-wise, How many of these movies has Golan and Globus made that's the exact same film?
Yeah.
How big of an impact did it have on their overall canon catalog?
Well, I have to say one thing particular about this movie is that it's better than A Hot Resort, and it's better than The Last American Virgin, because I wasn't actually bored watching this movie. It was nutty and out there, but it was always entertaining at least. And I kept focused the whole way through.
I'm going to hop forward a little bit just because I'm like, because I have to say this as part of my impressions, because it kind of goes into my review. It's a bad movie. It's still a bad movie, but there's at least stuff to like about it in this movie.
Yeah, it felt like it had fun making
It's
this
largely
movie.
Plotless. It's it's a series of the same vignettes. They're literally scenes and lines, line for line, taken from Hot Resort, taken from The Last American Virgin that happen in this film.
Although I have to admit, it's a lot faster than those movies.
That is basically...
Like, it gets through those introductions really fast.
This is my highlight of the film, is that the pacing of it works out very well. It's incredibly tightly paced up until the point where Rick's family arrives, and then it slows down for a bit.
Yeah.
But there's no standout jokes, because literally the construction of the joke is, hey, I walked in and there's a woman naked playing a violin.
If you've seen these types of movies, then you know
exactly
what it is.
There's a German woman pretending to drown, and then she tries to have sex with me. Wait, the German woman is beating me as a dominatrix. That's the type of comedy this movie has, which isn't a highlight of the film, but it's like the pacing of it is so fast. These situations just happen so fast, rapid shot.
What I would definitely say is that if you want to know what 80s raunchy comedies were like, I would say this is the movie to go to over the ones we watched, because this one gets you through.
The movie you go to is Porky's, but that's neither here nor there.
Not really this type of, you know what I mean. But like, it goes through the beats really fast, and it's more or less entertaining as it goes through. It's goofy, it's silly, but it's entertaining at least. It doesn't bore you.
I wouldn't recommend it to you people, but it is entertaining.
Unless you're looking for this type of a film, I wouldn't recommend it.
Oh boy. The low light of the film is that there's no plot.
Oh yeah, there's no plot. Things just happen. One thing happens after another. Goes to the next thing.
There's no plot, and instead in lieu of plot, in lieu of substance, it's just a bunch of random nudity. And some really weird... Actually, I want to add on to my highlight. There's this whole entire long segment with our favorite, Joe Rubbo, in which he's running away from Herr Fritz, the husband of Brigitta, the German dominatrix, where he's dressed up in chains and a chastity belt, in which he falls down a well.
Yes.
And then has to escape a little underground prison, and he's just barreling through doors. This becomes a shtick for him, that whenever he gets chased by the German, that he just barrels through doors, and doors just break apart.
Yes, that was really nuts. Especially when they find him later.
And whenever they do that, they start bringing out the cartoon sound effects, because they realize how zany and out there this is.
And unlike a movie like Making the Grade, where the joke kind of comes out of nowhere near the end, like when they just pan to the camera when they had nothing like that in the movie, they established that early with the cartoon sound effects. That happens very, very near the beginning of the movie. And that makes it a lot easier to digest, because when you have a certain type of comedy, you have to establish it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
You can't just do it out of nowhere.
And also, you're thinking of Hot Resort, and when they look directly at the camera.
No, it was Making the Grade. It was near the end where Judd Nelson turned to the camera and basically made a comment. You have to have it as soon as possible. If you're having a specific kind of comedy, you have to tell the audience right away. If you wait till the end of the movie to show them, they're just going to be lost. Did the movie get edited wrong? Is this not supposed to be here?
So what's your low light of the film?
Just what you said, it's the plot. It's all over the place.
There's no plot, yeah.
There isn't one.
There isn't a plot.
There's kind of one.
There isn't, JD, would you agree that there's no plot, instead that there's an excuse for the nudity?
Oh, yeah.
That's literally all it is there's an excuse.
They get to it really fast. So this is a movie for nudity. This is for obviously a movie where an era where porn wasn't very common. So you want the nudity.
It's guaranteed that in the 80s there were kids that owned this movies, and that there were scenes that had that distortion it gets when you would rewind and pause on it all the time.
Yeah, that's why the movie.
That's basically what the whole movie is, and I have to give it. I think the movie is very much knows what it's aiming to be.
Yeah, as
like it's in on the joke.
As I said, compared to something like Hot Resort or A Last American Virgin, this is a movie you could probably sit through for what it is and just, I don't know.
This movie knows exactly what it is.
It's not going to annoy you as much as those movies would, probably.
What would you say about this movie? What's your rating for this movie? What's your review for this film?
It's kind of a difficult movie to review because even though I don't think it's something I would recommend to anybody, I didn't hate it. I actually didn't dislike it. I enjoyed what I was watching it. So for that, I would probably just round it up to about a 3. It would probably be around a 2.5, but I think I'll just give it a 3.
So how much would you say of that, like, if it's like you have nothing against it, is just the fact that we watched so many bad movies so far this season?
No, I was surprised because when I was sitting there and we watched like the first 20 minutes and all that happened, I was legitimately impressed by saying they knew what they wanted. They did it. They didn't waste anybody's time, and they didn't screw up, which is not what I can say about, for instance, Hot Resort or Last American Virgin, where they had no idea at times what they wanted to be. This one knew exactly what it was doing.
Well, for me, I'm going to be the stick in the mud like usual. I'm only giving it a 2. Mm-hmm. But it's like, because as you said, I wouldn't recommend this to anybody. It's not really a Sunday afternoon, Saturday afternoon type of thing.
No.
But there is something entertaining about the film. But the lack of plot, the gratuitous nudity doesn't do anything for me. All the women look exactly the same. They're all blonde women.
Yeah, it's weird.
Blonde Caucasian women that look exactly the same.
Kind of got a few of them confused a couple of times.
Yeah, actually,
the same haircut too.
That was the yeah, exactly. There's just nothing of substance really to the movie. I don't hate the film.
As I said, the difference between a 3 and a 2 is if I enjoyed myself, and I did enjoy myself, so I would give it a 3. But as a movie, it's closer to.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. And like I said, it's a movie
not something I would recommend.
I'm not gonna recommend to anybody, and that's the fact that I wouldn't even recommend and say, hey, watch on a Saturday afternoon or something. No. That has to leave me at the 2.
The only thing I said, like I would recommend, is if you wanted to see what these types of movies are like, you'd do a lot better with this movie than you would with like the other ones we watched.
Yeah, this is probably the better of the booby comedies, but it surprised me that it completely missed out on the whole subplot we've had so far in every single one of these movies, except for American Virgin, of the slobs versus snobs subplot.
You just want an excuse to say slobs versus
I've been
snobs.
wanting to say that for a while, but it's a completely vacuous movie. That's pretty much all I can say about it. There's a reason why this movie has been forgotten overall. It's
doesn't have Bronson Pinchot in it. That's why it hasn't been remembered.
Well, it's like I said. It's like apparently Bronson Pinchot completely has this own Hot Resort at some point in his career and doesn't like to talk about it.
Well, maybe if he was in this one, he'd be better off. But we don't really have anything else to say about this film, so we'll wrap it up here, folks.
Yeah, and remember, kids, Randy doesn't like comedy. Specifically, Randy is not a fan of booby comedy.
And with that, we'll see you guys next time on the Cannon Cruisers. I'm JD.
And I think I'm Randy.
And we'll see you next time when we continue our cruise through the Cannon catalog. Bye-bye.
You're disgusting!
Boy, if my mother could see me now.
Hot chili. Sometimes a little spice is all the variety you need.
I love hot chili.
Hot chili.